the best pendulum squat ever. So check it out. You can see my video from a while ago where I compared the swing squat to the pendulum squat. I also recently made a video showing you my modified original swing squat. Check it out above. And now I'm going to show you my modified pendulum squat. So the pendulum squat I have is the original Paramount total leg. Fantastic machine. There's mixed opinions about it, but let me show you what I did and I'll give you my take. You know, I talked about on my original video, the Predator squat looks fantastic. Some great features about it. I see Prime Fitness is coming out with a new one. I'm going to show you what I did to kind of make it similar. And there's the Atlantis pendulum squat too, which a lot of people like. But I still notice, I don't understand what it is, but most people either don't know how to use this machine or they just don't care. They just kind of use it how they think it's best. So there's mixed opinions about it. The biggest thing is I see is most people still don't know how to use the counterweight. Like the Atlantis pendulum squat is cool. It's a very, very good machine. But the reason some people like it more than this is it's easier. It has a built-in counterweight, so you don't have to think about putting a counterweight in. The problem is you can't adjust that counterweight as your load goes up. Whereas this, you can adjust the counterweight. The main purpose of using it is to counteract the bottom of the squat. So what's the perfect strength curve for a squat movement? You want it heavy in the middle and towards the top where your quads are the strongest. And you want it lighter at the very bottom where you're the weakest. Well, the problem is the pendulum squat is designed where it's very hard at the bottom unless you have assistance pulling you up out. Like it's not an even strength curve. You can still use it, but it's not using it optimally ideally, where you load weight in the back and you use the counterweight to assist you at the very bottom. Not just if you can't do your own body weight. That's not just what it's for. It's to help you out of the hole. All right, so what you can see I've done, this is the original horn. I've added this horn here, and this horn here. It's going to alter the strength curve. The further the weight is up towards the middle of the movement arm, the less torque you're going to start with. So the movement's going to be a little easier. So you can adjust where you want to put the weight based on your strength level and where you want it to be heavy, where you want it to be light. So the other simple thing I did was I added a band peg here and a band peg on the bottom so I can use bands for reverse bands. The other thing I did is I added a movement arm on the assist. So when the weight's up here, it doesn't assist me as much as when it's down here. And I can adjust where and how much assistance I get at the bottom or middle of the movement based on if I put the weight up here or the weight in the original counter horn. And that's the beauty of this. And I see Prime is doing something very similar with their one that's coming out. I'm not even sure if it's coming out or not. But it's cool because you can play around with it. Thing I didn't do, if I really wanted to make this perfect, I would have adjusted the foot plate. It just wasn't worth it to me because I use this Wolf wedge, which is fantastic if I want to have my toes up or heels up, and it's soft. So if I really wanted to make it perfect, I would have adjusted the foot plate. But to me, it's not a huge deal because I use wedges. And it's softer on my feet when you do this without shoes. All right, so this still remains one of my favorite leg pieces. It's definitely one of the most humbling pieces out there. And one of the reasons I think a lot of people don't like it is it's an ego killer. You can't use hardly any weight on it compared to like a regular squat machine, which is one of the reasons I love it. So you can see where the weight is on these horns. I play around with it. The second horn up top has most of the weight, and the original horn I put weight there too. And then you'll see I'll do some drop sets. But it definitely changes the dynamics of how the load feels. And you can see the way the counterweight has been adjusted. The top horn I added helps me more at the top. It still helps the movement, but it doesn't help quite as much as the original counterweight horn. So I can adjust how much assistance I get. And then obviously the band helps as well. But I've just been playing around with this, and there's so many cool things I can do with this. I mean, for me, this machine fits me very well. If you have super long legs, this machine probably, you would want a machine where the foot plate can adjust. If you're super short or you're super tall, this is probably not the ideal machine. I don't have super long legs. Like I said, a little like 6'1"-ish. It fits me well, but I've seen people with really long legs where it's not ideal, or they're really, really short. And you need like a Predator hack squat or Predator pendulum where the footplate can move further forward. But actually, it's perfect for me. But I just love the extra counterweight. I've played around with it. I can put all the weight on the extra counterweight. And it makes it so it doesn't assist me as much. So you can see I'm just doing mechanical drop set here. The horns that are further, like I said, towards the middle of the movement arm, they're easier because you have much less starting torque. The other thing that I want you to notice that's phenomenal is the backpad. Notice the bottom of the backpad is curved to allow your lower spine to go into lordosis. I also like that it actually is not super long. Because it's not super long, my lumbar sacral area can actually come off and flex a little bit easier. I don't like the hack squats or the pendulum squats where the pad is too long, because you have to put a pad in there to allow your spine to go into its natural curvature. But when the pad is shorter or it's got that little lumbar protrusion that it sticks out, it's just way more comfortable on the lower back. So it'd be interesting to see if people actually learned how to use the counterweight on this machine. Instead of just trying to load the weight in the back, actually use the counterweight to assist you on the bottom, and it won't hurt your knees so bad. Everyone complains on how this machine hurts their knees because they don't know how to use the counterweight. And one of the beauties of how this is designed is that, like I said, endless drop sets. So I usually do one really hard set and then a second set that I can do 2 to 3 drops on. That's what works. But I still like a 12 to 15 rep range on this particular machine. The pump in the quads is crazy good. Well, let me know what you guys think. Like, comment, subscribe below. Have an awesome day.